Right now at 10, AmeriCorps programs in Davenport are getting cut.
It's bigger than just the city.
We'll explain what's happening and hear from one group that's benefited from the program, plus honoring the families of fallen police officers.
Your loved ones gave their lives to protect our community. We will never forget them or their impact.
Tonight, the recognition they received and what one state leader is calling for to keep officers safe.
It's been a day of clouds and even a few raindrops here and there in some of our hometowns, and we still have a few more of those shower chances to go before we see a nice dry upcoming weekend. We'll break it down for you with the help of your accurate forecast.
Head Start celebrating 60 years. We'll show you how kids got to get in on the fun. And later, a traveling Anne Frank exhibit is coming to Rock Falls. We'll tell you when you can see it and how local students are helping bring history to life. News 8 at 10 starts right now. Thanks for joining us tonight. More than 20 Davenport volunteers are on temporary leave. It comes as federal grants supporting AmeriCorps programs are ending in just over a week. Maddie Franz joins us in studio to show us which organizations are affected. Good evening, Maddie.
Hey, John. AmeriCorps members support a number of organizations in Davenport alone. Some assist with Parks and Rec programs like summer camps and Davenport Junior Theater. Others support Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Mississippi Valley, Common Cord, or the Putnam Museum. One organization says the end of this program means fewer opportunities for young people. Here at Project Renewal, laughs are never in short supply. College students and recent grads help supervise the after-school and summer program.
Absolutely, it's valuable.
Ann Schwickerath is executive director. She's had several AmeriCorps members come through her doors.
Which is a great way for them to earn a stipend, give back to their community, and also get an educational award to help offset tuition.
None of her staff are currently with AmeriCorps, but after a federal decision to cut grant funding for the program, they might not get that opportunity.
It's just sad.
I don't know we have a lot of answers yet.
Over with the city of Davenport, the impact of the funding cut is being felt more acutely.
It's supplemented, it's been a multiplier for our workforce in the Parks Department.
Doug Maxiner is the city administrator. He says AmeriCorps volunteers helped staff the city's summer programming. They received a stipend through the federal grant, which was matched by the city.
What this announcement has done in a very abrupt fashion for us was give us a very short window to try to find a way to address those services that we had planned to use of those individuals throughout the summer.
He says the parks director is working to make sure summer camps and junior theater still happen. That could mean running programs with fewer staff and services or hiring part-timers at a greater expense to the city.
There has to be some impact just because of the numbers that we're talking about.
But Maxiner isn't just worried about the impact to the city.
I don't think you can downplay the public service aspect and the introduction into public service.
He says people who serve in AmeriCorps usually continue serving their communities.
I think that's going to be a long-term loss for the nation.
And if the grant cancellation isn't reversed, it will be a loss for programs like Project Renewal, too.
Another missed opportunity to provide opportunities for youth and adults.
In a statement, the executive director of Common Cord says AmeriCorps members helped the organization put on concerts and develop new programs. He says in part, the short-sighted and foolish decision to end funding for this valuable program will cause direct harm to our community, weakening the impact that nonprofits and city services create for all citizens. John?
Maddie, thank you. Last year, AmeriCorps distributed more than $370 million in grants through the state and national program. It supported more than 35,000 AmeriCorps members. And Head Start is celebrating its 60th anniversary this month, and kids in East Moline got a chance to have fun a little early. Project Now Head Start holding a Touch-a-Truck event, giving kids the chance to get up close with fire engines, police cars, a custom SpongeBob car, and even semis. Head Start provides early learning, health care, and support to children and families.
It just helps our families learn about things that are going on in our community, and it helps our children grow, and it helps our children get ready for kindergarten and for any grade above that.
Head Start's official anniversary is May 18th. All right, let's talk a little bit about the weather now. Kind of a mix of everything today, but we did see plenty of sprinkles out there, James.
Yeah, a few raindrops. Some were a little bit heavier in areas just south of the Quad Cities, especially early this evening. Let's go and show you the latest on our radar. A little wider view showing just some scattered showers that are going on, very widely scattered. But one in particular just south of the Quad Cities did have a nice little thunderstorm with it as well that took place from Minneapolis and then made its way toward Galesburg. And now it's just a good rain event that's going on throughout Knox County, from northern Knox County around Oneida, Rover Country right around there, and then points southward. That continues to make its way pretty much off toward the east. Otherwise, we're looking at a lot of broken clouds, still a few raindrops being noticed just to our north. Temperatures you can see in the 50s, right around 60 from Princeton, Kewaunee, Mount Pleasant at 61, even around Keokuk at 61 degrees as well. Over in downtown Davenport, 59 degrees at the Quad International Airport, around 58 after a high of around 64 degrees. Yeah, we'll keep it pretty cloudy for most of the night, though a few breaks expected before daybreak. Numbers will be dropping around 50 degrees. Then heading into Friday, one more round of scattered showers. We'll show you how it's going to track in just a few minutes, John.
James, thank you. Today, protesters in Moline voicing their opposition to the Trump administration. The protests were part of a nationwide movement that included Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, and Philadelphia. May 1st is traditionally International Workers' Day, but organizers decided to frame this year's protests as a pushback against policies they disagree with. And earlier today, fallen police officers' families were thanked for the selflessness of their loved ones. The Illinois Police Officers Memorial Committee honored 9 officers this morning. Joe Habersham tells us what state officials want to see to protect officers.
The state's annual Peace Officer Memorial falls on the first Thursday of the month here in Illinois, recognizing officers who passed away in the line of duty. The committee held its 40th ceremony in Springfield Thursday morning, also honoring lost canines for the first time. Elected officials presented families with plaques, but the state's comptroller says more should be done to protect our protectors. She's asking lawmakers to remove a provision in the Safety Act that gives those on house arrest 2 days of movement. A man that was on house arrest shot and killed a Chicago officer last year during a traffic stop, and he was already heading to trial on drug charges.
Can't say we love the police and then fail them miserably. Keep passing laws or policies that make their jobs harder and put them at greater risk. There's no shame in course correcting, but there is shame in not fixing our mistakes.
The rest of the country will have their chance to honor their loved ones on May 15th.
All first responders are tough. But when a child dies, when children die, it weighs on their hearts and their minds and their souls.
An emotional moment there today as Illinois State Police provide an update on a crash that killed 4, including 3 children earlier this week in central Illinois. Police say the driver of that car that crashed through an after-school camp building in Chatham, Illinois, may have had a medical emergency. Tests show she was not under the influence of drugs or alcohol.
The investigation of this information and other evidence has not yet concluded and will continue until all leads and research has been exhausted.
Authorities say no decision has been made on whether to file charges against the 44-year-old driver. 6 other children had to go to the hospital. 2 have been released. And in South Carolina, 1 man is in custody after police say he drove into multiple people, including children, outside a preschool. Right now, no one has died. Police say after hitting those people, the suspect ran off with a knife, leading to an hours-long manhunt before he was arrested on a boat. We don't know if any charges have been filed.
Hey John, fast food giant McDonald's hitting a bit of a slowdown. Store traffic in U.S. locations dropping almost 4% during the first quarter of the year. Now the company's CEO blames economic uncertainty among lower to middle income consumers. In response, the company is again extending its $5 meal deal through the end of the summer. And check your kitchens. More than 2 million pressure cookers recalled after more than 100 burn injuries have been reported. The Ninja-branded Foodie OP300 series multifunction pressure cooker has a lid that can be opened while the cooker is in use. Half of those burns are 2nd or 3rd degree. You should stop using that cooker immediately and contact Shark Ninja for a free replacement lid. And a Brazilian nun who was the oldest person in the world has died. Sister Ina Cabero Lucas died of natural causes at 116 years old on Wednesday in Brazil. She credited her Catholic faith as the key to living as long as she did. Cabero spent most of her life teaching. Just a few years ago, she was honored by Pope Francis. The oldest person now, a 115-year-old British woman.
A heads up for travelers, we are now just days away for the deadline to get your real ID. Starting Wednesday, May 7th, you will need to have what's called a real ID. Without it, you'll need a passport or another acceptable form of identification to fly. Right now, the Iowa Department of Transportation says an estimated 56% of IDs nationwide are real IDs. In Iowa, that number is 76%. But Illinois still has a way to go. Only 35% of IDs are real IDs.
I remember the hype when they were, telling everybody they needed to get it done, and we did it right away.
Yeah, good idea there. TSA says the Quad Cities Airport has run multiple tests to practice their setup for May 7th. They encourage flyers to get to the airport a little early in case there are backups at security checkpoints. And if you are looking to score some tickets to Caitlin Clark's return to Carver Hawkeye this weekend, well, get ready to pay up. The average price for tickets to Sunday's exhibition game between the Indiana Fever and the Brazilian national team is $440 on the resale market. That makes it the most in-demand game in Clark's career. The previous high average was $411 when Clark passed Pete Maravich as Division I's all-time leading scorer. The highest ticket price for the game is more than $2,400. Stick around in sports to hear Clark talk about her return to Carver. All right, coming up, a milestone for a local museum when the Figge Art Museum is changing up its look and how it all came together. Then it may be wet now, but it's all setting up for a beautiful weekend. James will tell you when you can head off to the races ahead of the Kentucky Derby. And later in sports, Lexi Rodriguez reflects on winning the nation's top award, why the Sterling native feels humbled to be mentioned among sports' top athletes. You're watching News 8 at 10.